Welcome to hands-on exercise number 6. As soon as this hands-on exercise is over, we get to go have lunch, and I've got something special planned for lunch. It is gnocchi with a butter herb sauce. I bought it at Costco. We'll see how it turns out, but
Yeah.
that's what's coming. So we're gonna go through this, but first you're gonna go through it. And so for this hands-on exercise, pause the video, read all this stuff, and do it. And then when you're all done, come on back and unpause the video, and we'll show you me working through this with the assistance of Daniel, which I'm totally loving. So pause the video, go do yours, and now I'm going to show you ours. So we're going to modify the server, create the endpoint this, and so that endpoint, that endpoint comes from...
That's where you're sending your form on partial
oh yeah,
register.
that's where I'm sending this form. So right there. And I no longer need the temp HTML there, the token, or those notes. And so we're going to go back up to the top, create a new endpoint. And that new endpoint is going to be... See, I just don't know if that's faster. I think just http.handle func and type it, and then do that. I think that was quicker. And then
Yep.
I'm going to do, it's going to be, what's this one
Oh,
called?
Amazon register.
Oh, Amazon register. Oh, Amazon register. All right, and no comment. And then this is going to be response writer. And then request, pointer to an HTTP request. And pow, right, we're ready. So now we're getting some stuff.
So now from the HTML, we're getting some response.
Yeah, we're getting all this stuff. So I have to do that. I'm just like, wait a minute, I did that up here, but it's the same deal here. So I'm going to get first := r dot form value, because that gets from a form or from the URL. And what I'm pulling out here is name first, right? And then we're going to do email. And that's : r dot form value, and that one's going to be email. And there's the name of that one. And then this next one's going to be OAuth ID. And that's : r dot form value. And that one's going to be named OAuth ID. And then that was it. So now I've got those 3 values, and I'm ready to register. So I think a good place to go to save time is by looking at register. And if it's not method post, I think we probably want to do that again, right?
Yep.
And if we don't have email, we want to, like, we need somebody's email. They either entered it or it came through. They had to sign off on it. And then here we're getting password in first. So let's just copy this down. And we will put this in first, because if you're not posting, you're gone. And then if you don't have email, we'll come down here. And we'll just change this to E to match the code before. Changing it there will be easier. And if we don't have email, you're out of here. And go back to register, back to the top, and then go to register. And so we got post, we got E, we got password, and then form value first. I guess we need people's first, right? So we need their email, we need their first, so we'll add that in. And so if we don't have first, and we also need OAuth ID.
Yep.
And that's kind of the password, so we'll just do it all in order, and we'll call this one. So, and with a big old, let's see, should I just do one with or? Or is it nice to kind of see, like, this is your first name, your email, your OAuth ID needs to not be empty, right? And do we want to log any of this to our server that somebody got here? And
Possibly. I mean, depends on how security-minded you are. So if you're in a big company, you almost always want to log, like, everything.
Yeah, so we're not going to do it. And now I'll go back to register. Because what are the implications? Let's just think about that for a second, right? Like, if somebody got to this page, they went through all of this, and then they got here and they deleted everything and they submitted the form, and then they're seeing this message. Like, do we need to spend brain power processing Because like here, we're saying, look, if you didn't have SST to this point, you're out of here. And then here, it's just user being a prankster, right?
So the OAuth ID may be because they would have to, because that's a hidden input. They can't delete that with the normal use.
And so then we're like, oh, somebody's tampering. We kind of just want to see like.
Yeah. So
but there's always going to be punks, and there's going to be bots doing it. So do we want to spend the brain resources on that?
Yeah, because you want to see there's a bot and start banning their IP.
Okay, that's a good reason. OAuth ID came through as empty at maybe ban this bot prankster IP address. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how often do IP address? Can we get MAC address? Like how often do
Not
MAC
really.
IP addresses? How often do they?
The bots can. So
change?
a true person who's trying to hack will be able to change their IP address pretty easily.
Oh.
But a script, someone who's just running a script on their own computer, or who's doing something like our collaboration and crawling course, where they're just running Kali on their own machine, their IP is not really going to change for a while.
But then, like maybe like they've spoofed it. We ban some IP, and that prevents some other customer. From
Yeah,
getting to us.
which is why you want it to be temporary, but yeah,
temporary ban. We won't ban. We'll just watch it.
But yeah, just keep an eye on it. Maybe you go through Cloudflare because they're good at keeping an eye on people trying to hack like that.
Making sure I was recording. So extract the auth provider's user ID from its token. So we got a token. So your parse token function should work. Send the user back to to that place. So we need to extract the user ID from parse token. So let's look at that token.go. I am hungry, and it returns a string in there, and it takes in a string. So I'm just going to do a string error := parse token, and it takes in a string. And I'm thinking it's just going to be OAuth ID.
Yep.
And when I pass that in, what it does is parse token is going to take in all of that JWT thing that we did, and it parses with claims. And oh wow, it's this function again.
Yeah.
And it does that thing, right? And then it returns a token claims, custom claims SID, and the SID is the session ID.
It was originally,
User
yeah.
ID.
But
this is the ID we got from Amazon, right?
So yeah, whatever we put into create token, that's what what parse token pulls out.
And so what we put in is that entire JSON deal.
So we put in the user ID from Amazon.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. There's create token PR user ID.
Oh, okay. So it gives us the user ID.
Yep.
So right here, I could make this user ID.
So this is your Amazon user ID.
Amazon user ID. Yeah?
Yep.
All right. It's kind of a long name for Go, but being clear.
I prefer to have what's known as self-documenting code, where your variables are clear enough that you don't even need to stick comments in.
I prefer that too. And then error. If error is not equal to nil, abort. No, that's not.
In Go, it's called panic.
Panic. So if the error is not nil, then we parse the token, and this is somebody's been hacking with the token, so we're going to log that.
Or the token expired. Our tokens have a
cool.
5-minute timeout. We probably want to increase that.
Parse token at Amazon didn't parse. And is there a way to find out by the error, I wonder? Maybe.
Not the way we wrote our
Not
parse
the way we
token.
wrote it. And then your OAuth needs not be empty, and there was an issue. We're just going to say there was an issue. Issue, send us money so we can fix it. And redirect to there and return.